That's pretty straight out here. think so. So here?
So is the mic? Oh, okay. I can hear myself now. Look at that. Hello? I don't hear myself on the actual stream though. That's the only thing. I hear myself in my head. Which is weird. Oh. It's just the delay. Yeah. Right. I think that's going to be the play. So for those of you who are watching, thanks for tuning in. We got four on there right now. Tony says hi in case anyone's wondering. So as of right now, we have Team Davis versus, I believe it's Team Broom Goes the Dynamite, I think is their name. Team Davis is red. Broom Goes the Dynamite is yellow. Red right now, I believe, is sitting 1, 2, maybe just 1. But it looks like a take coming down the center. Just off to the right, it's kind of drifting. They called off the sweep, hoping it comes back. Are we on it? Oh, they called sweep again. It must be close. So it looks like a hit and roll in. So was that the hammer? Nope. Nancy still has one more shot. So Team Davis still has one more shot. You want to do it? Okay, what's that on? Oh, on the desktop? Deal. All right, we're going to launch a desktop. Oh, okay. Where am I at? Under home or away, okay. That's Davis. Okay. Oh, sorry, did I miss it? What am I? Oh, okay. Down here. So what do we look at? So right now it's 4-0. So we'll go +3, +1. Cool. Hey, there we go. Okay. Yeah, so as of right now, it looks like Davis is sitting 3. This is the last shot of the end. She has a. Oh no, she's not sitting 3. She's only sitting 1. It looks like that Yellowstone in the front is really being a pest. So again, for those who aren't entirely sure, oh look at you changing stuff up. The way that the scoring works is you start from the center, you work your way out. As of right now, from the center. Red is the first count. And as you work your way out, once you reach the next color, then that's it. Only one color can score. So as of right now, you work from the center. You see red has 1. By the time you get to the next red stone, we've already got to a yellow stone, which is closer to the center. So red is only scoring 1 right now. So it looks like what Nancy's going to try to do, which I think is probably the best option, is try to hit that yellow stone out. Because if she gets that cleanly out without hitting any of hers behind it, then there's a chance for a pretty big end here, getting 4, which would be huge because right now she's down 4. This could tie up the game and really change things around. Now he's putting the line right on the edge of that 4-foot red circle, which can get kind of tricky because every once in a while that 4-foot line can get pretty swingy and curl back in a lot quicker than they expect. It looks like they're sweeping it pretty hard. We had somebody lose a slider. We're still sweeping it. We're staying on it. Can we get it out of there cleanly? No, it looks like we crashed on that front yellow. So that means Davis will still score 1. And unfortunately give Hammer back to Broom goes the dynamite after only scoring 1 with Hammer. Not ideal. So let's see where things go from here. We just finished the third end. Still a lot of curling left in this game. We'll see what happens next. Yeah, it makes somebody wonder if they didn't lose their slider there while sweeping, if they could have maybe held that stone, but it seemed pretty narrow as it was released. All right, let's see. So Nancy now got 1. All right. Now, as you see, Nancy is standing on the 4-foot line, given the line for Broom. Ideally, you'd want to have somebody start out throwing right towards her Broom, and if you throw the right handle, meaning you're turning the stone the right way, it's going to come back and get to that center line. This one might not quite make it over the hog line, though, and if that happens, the stone is gone, unfortunately. Bright side for them is the theme this year is summer camp, and for different things that happen on the ice and sometimes off the ice, you get extra patches. And believe it or not, hogging a stone is a patch. Not one that everyone is super proud of getting, but still one you need nonetheless. I only say that as somebody who got the hog patch for his team at 3:30 draw. We're not going to talk about that one too much, though. All right, so now we have Liz Motter throwing for yellow. Pretty solid lead. It looks like she's trying to come all the way across and hit the corner draw. Looks a little heavy coming in. Trying to sweep. Getting off of it. Actually looks pretty darn good. That's not terrible. So the further we can get to the side of that house with an open rock like that, the better, because it just makes it harder to take out when you're trying to throw at those edges versus one that's right in the center of the sheet and you can just push straight out. Nancy's putting it right on the stone. My guess is then she's trying to throw up another guard to try to set up a decent end here. If she can get control of center, put a guard up, maybe try to put something behind it. Oh, that looks like she's going. Looks like she was actually going for a takeout there. That was a tight line for a takeout. Looks like it definitely went off the mark there a little bit. A little bit light, a little bit tight. So yellow gets to keep their stone in, which is a pretty good opportunity to now split the house, which is what I would imagine most people would do. Liz is a pretty good curler. She gets to throw basically the same shot, just cross to the other side of the house. If she can set that up and keep them nice and parallel and even, makes it a lot harder to hit any sort of takeout. They're getting a sweep on it fairly early. Looks like they need the weight for sure. Can they get it to the house? They got it on there, and it even came in pretty close to about even with that other stone. A little bit short, but still a pretty hard double if somebody wanted to try to hit that double. Nancy's going to use that shot to try to draw one behind and maybe start setting something up here, because if she doesn't, she's going to be in trouble. Draw is thrown. They're taking a look at it. They like it. Looks a little heavy, maybe. She's calling sweep. Sweep is off, and that thing is gliding. Yep, that one went right through, unfortunately. So this is gonna come down to some pretty impressive shots here towards the end, I think, to try to salvage this for Team Davis, so they don't fall too much further behind in this game. We don't want this one to get too far out of hand, or they wouldn't want this one to get too far out of hand. So that way they can still have a chance to climb back in it here. A steal would be really nice, but if they can at least just keep yellow to just getting one with the hammer so they can get it back, that would be ideal. So now yellow team Broom goes the dynamite, looks like they're trying to draw behind their front yellow, coming in a little bit. They might have to plan B this one, maybe get a tick. Nope. Looks like it's going to get right next to it. Nancy's still trying to use those yellow stones as kind of a blocker, especially now that there's two out there. That might make it a little more difficult for them to try to run that back and take hers out if they can get one in there. Line looked okay, but just a little bit less weight, ideally. Pretty smooth push out. Looked like they kicked a little hard and pulled it back a little at the end to try to slow it down. Still staying on that side of the center. If they can get this thing to slow down and curl behind, that's going to be a really good stone. That is shot rock, folks. All right. Team Davis back in business here. You can see that coming right in there. Almost getting perfectly buried behind that front yellow. Looks like about half of it might still be exposed, maybe a little more. And my guess is Team Broom Goes the Dynamite is going to go right after this, because even if they just pick a piece of it and roll out, they're not too upset about rolling out. Amanda holding the broom. And they're on it pretty early. They're worried about this thing coming down. They don't want it to crash on their front yellow. Looks like they might get past it here. Looks like they got a decent amount of room. Nope, they ticked the yellow just a little bit. They got on that one pretty early, so that one was definitely coming in pretty quick. So now with that little tick on the yellow, you saw it just redirected enough to get past that yellow, and Team Davis lives another day. That's a pretty scared red stone just hanging out there, though. So we're gonna see the line that Nancy's gonna hold to see what her shot call is here. She's taking a peek, and this is her husband now throwing Mark. Oh, he was waiting for his preference in his preference in the slider. He's earned that right. That's okay. I see him down here pretty often practicing throughout the week. So it looks like the call is to try to put something up to guard that red. If they can get it to count, that's cool, but you really don't want it to come too far down to that other red stone that's count right now. If you put another one right on top of it, you get a chance for that double, and you really don't want that because you're in a decent opportunity. It's coming in, though. That's coming in pretty fast. It might actually get a bump even. Honestly, that's not terrible. That little bump buries it a little better, although that red stone that they just threw still is sitting exposed. Yellow could hit that to try to get that out of there. That would take Pretty hard shot to get both of them out. But Yellow's going to give it a try here. Team Broom goes to Dynamite, coming right down the center here, a little bit off to the left. Sweep is called. It's coming in. It's coming in. Still curling. They're still on it. They're still going. They're going to hit. All right, they hit the front red, rolled out after that. All right, Team Davis with their one red stone still sitting to steal right now. Try to throw another guard up, see if Mark can throw it a little bit closer here. And by closer, I mean a little bit closer to the front of the house. That one came in a little bit too tight to that red, left an opportunity for a double. We don't want that. If they can make it count, great, but really line is more important here than getting it counting. If Team Davis can start stealing 1-1-1 here, that can get pretty demoralizing pretty quick to a team. So you see the stone coming in here. Yeah. There we go. So that's a little bit better. It protects that red, but it's not super close, which makes the double a little more difficult. It actually is tucked behind that Yellowstone pretty nicely. And it outcounts. So right now, red is sitting to Team Davis, looking to hopefully get a steal here and get some momentum going against Team Broom goes the Dynamite. All right, and their third is throwing. Looks like a little bit more controlled weight here. Trying to draw it in. Maybe get something in between these reds. Try to cut it down to 1 at the very least. It's got to slow down, though. It's coming in pretty fast. It might. Is it going to get in between there? Oh, man. What a shot. As you see this one coming in here, it just barely gets past that red, but still curls back right onto. So now yellow is shot rock. They would love to get 2 here, but being able to get a stone right there to cut Davis down here is really, really important, because now even if they hit that yellow stone, those 2 stones are pretty locked on top of each other. If Davis hits that stone, the red one goes, they might be shot, but chances are yellow is still going to be count here, which sets up for yellow having hammer this end really nicely. Right now you're looking at probably a best case scenario if you're Team Davis of maybe getting 1. There's a lot of discussion going on there. Now we got some inter-team conversation even. This is all good fun here at the 2026 Applespiel. These are all inter-club teams. This is just a club bonspiel between all the other members here. You'll see a lot of joking, a lot of laughing on the ice, messing around with each other at times. It's a very, very light, very, very positive atmosphere. All right, Nancy's throwing her first of the skip stones. Looks like a pretty close draw weight. They're jumping on it. They want to make sure they keep it on this side of on their side of the center, though. If that starts to come across too much, you're going to see it hit that red, push it back, and probably cover that up. Yeah, that kind of covered up that yellow. I mean, the nice side is that makes it really hard for yellow to get more than 1 with their hammer. And so if you can get worst case scenario to say, hey, yellow's only getting 1 and we get the hammer back to try to get multiple points, that's not a terrible end. Again, they're down 4-1 right now, so down by 3, but it's pretty early. This is the 4th end. This will be the halfway mark for those watching Olympic curling. Typical club curling is 8 ends, and Olympic curling is 10 ends. We're not quite that dedicated here. Well, maybe some are, but for this, we're sticking with the 8 ends. That's plenty, especially for a long weekend like this one's going to be. For those of you who are watching on this one, we also have an ACC Appleton Curling Club Sheet 2 channel that's also streaming. For the main channel, we're streaming sheet 3. And for the for our other channel, we're streaming on sheet 2. Have a game going on there, although that game's kind of getting blown out pretty quick here. So you're not missing a whole lot on that one. Team Peters running away up 7-1. So we have Team Broom goes the dynamite, about to throw their first skips rock, and again, they have hammer. So as they're going here, my guess, if I was looking at the house right now and I'm yellow, you can try to hit that front red out of there and maybe get a situation where, you know, your next shot you might be able to tap something in and get it in and make it count. Looks like they're conceding the one and looking for a draw to kind of block that so red can't try to get their yellow out. That looks like it's about the 12-foot ring coming into the 8-foot ring. Going to tap that red just a little bit and curl over. Just changing the angles a little bit as you see that one come in here. Little boop. Drop that over. So now their Yellowstone is pretty well covered. Team Davis, pretty difficult to... Oh, we're having some conversation here. Not sure what's going on here. Did you catch that at all, Tony? Oh, is he? Okay. Okay, yep. Club president and level 2 official, Ryan Melberg. Uh-huh. Nancy Davis saying something fishy happened with the Yellowstones. I'm guessing it's nothing really that's going on. They're laughing, they're joking, they're having a good time. So as we look at the house here, again, Nancy's throwing her last shot of the end here. You could take a risk and you could try to hit that redstone to try to hit that Yellowstone out and maybe get red to count. But that being said, it would have to sit perfectly so that way yellow can't just hit that out for 3, possibly. Looks like Nancy is electing. That has some mustard on it, so that thing's coming down the ice. Looks a little wide, but Nancy's usually do curl back. Let's see here. She's going, it's coming back in. Are they going to be able to get it? Trying to hit the take, the out to in, hit and roll. Didn't quite get enough of it. Moved it a little bit, as you see here. Just over curled. Unfortunately, since it was an outside to in turn, you saw that angle not come quite flat, but actually come straight out diagonal and pretty north to go out the front of the house. It was worth a shot. Absolutely worth a shot. Takes that other yellow, pushes it a little bit further out into the 12-foot blue ring there. So Broom goes the dynamite, looking to see if they can maybe get more than one here. That's going to be pretty tough. It looks like both those redstones in the front are out counting that front yellow. So maybe a hope here if they hit that yellow, bump it back, maybe they get 2. That front yellow there, they're on the line pretty early. It's touching that center. Once it grabs that center, it tends to go. And here we see it move. Are they going to be able to hold it enough to get that yellow? Oh, they pushed it, but not enough to outcount that red. That red that Nancy put in there in the beginning stays. Yellow gets 1. And now Team Davis is going to get the hammer, only giving up 1. So not too bad, all things considered. That could have been way worse as things were starting to unfold there. Oh, I'm sorry. Long leg problem. So again, those of you who are watching, thanks again for tuning in. Whether you have family members here, whether you just are interested in curling, maybe you just looked up your local club and wanted to see what's going on. Either way, welcome in. Hope you're enjoying yourself and maybe getting to learn some curling. So we're going to update the score here. Say Broom goes the dynamite, gets 1. All right. Can you maybe? Thank you.
Here in the fifth end of this contest of the 2026 Applespiel, Mr. Berg had a sobergency, and he had to run and get a beer. So I'll take over for a little bit here. This is your trusty producer, Tony, trying to flip the cameras and talk at the same time. It is a bit like chewing gum and walking. I've never been very good at it. Thanks for tuning in and checking us out. It is an absolutely packed upper warm room in the Appleton Curling Club for night one of the Applespiel. Team Davis with the hammer. Really needs to get some offense going, get a big end here in the fifth in order to come back. Not a start that's going to facilitate a lot of scoring, at least at this moment it looks that way, but things can change. A lot of stones left to play. Third stone for Broom goes dynamite. A little heavy and a little hot. Certainly not the worst result. Though coming in behind cover, probably a little bit preferred. Davis looking now to utilize those reds in the top of the house as cover. Coming behind. It's got a lot of curling to do. Okay. Stone's exposed, but job one is done. They are sitting shot. Looks like first and third for red right now. Broom comes in, moves both reds, ends up sitting in the house. As shot. Vice Mark Davis sweeping this stone hard. Oh, called off. Because it's a great shot. Nicely done by Team Davis. Now sitting 3. Again, just a little bit ago, it didn't look like they really had the makings for a multiple end, but things change quickly. Yellow Rocks now with the lead, trying to do some damage control. Love to get 2 of these reds to go away. Just looking for how to most effectively get those out. Maybe get a stone under a little bit of cover. Mr. Ryan Welsh slides out of the hack. Delivers something with quite a bit of speed. It's going to get one of those reds. Didn't quite get the double. But good enough for second shot. Number of nose hits in this end have been impressive, though I'm sure Team Davis would love to see a little bit inside of nose so that it can roll to a different spot. Maybe a spot with a little cover, at least a spot where they're throwing on a different line. All right. Just a little wide of ideal. See as it comes in the yellow. Yellowstone sitting second was the target, but in the end, Davis still has 3 stones in to Broom's 2. But Broom is sitting shot and is now going to ignore those reds. Play the draw, maybe with a little rub on that yellow just to get a little more cover. If we could ever just nick the yellow that is shot stone. And then roll behind cover, sitting 2. You can see it's already overcurled that particular shot. Now just hoping it'll stop. It does, but has it gone too far? Just that little bit of roll means it is too far. Too far to sit there too. Davis with a nose hit could be sitting 1 and 2. Set up to grab a deuce here in the 5th of this opening game for both teams in the 2026 Applespiel. Theme this year is summer camp. Plenty of decorations up here. Look like log cabins, the night sky, bit of grass, plenty in costume. Plenty more will be in costume tomorrow night for the costume contest. And that is great. We'll need to see a replay of that. Just an ideal shot. Team Davis 1 and 2 and behind a yellow that's protecting them both. You can see even that yellow onto red run back is going to be problematic for Broom Goes the Dynamite because there are catchers in the back that'll probably prevent any red from leaving the rings. Not definitely the case, but Broom is in a bit of trouble here. Key for Skip Amanda Crewell to remember that 2 is all right. You can give up 2. What you're looking for is to not give up more than 2 to a team that's behind right now. 2 is a relatively cheap way to get the hammer back and potentially score your 2 in the 6th. Appears to be the draw. Hide a piece of a yellow behind those red stones, making the takeout difficult. Also, again, that backing works for both teams, so you put a yellow in the right spot. Tough for Davis to get it out because of that backing in the back of the rings. Only one real game that's close on the ice right now besides this one. That's on sheet 1 where Team Ladwig and Team John Shoy are in a bit of a battle. That's 5-4 right now in the 5th end. Amanda's draw comes in just a little lighter than ideal, but putting a stone in that position, not too bad. You can see it's going to end up being second count. And a bit of a pain to remove for Davis without potentially losing one of their own. My far too sober counterpart hasn't come back, so I'll just keep talking until he does. I was content in my job of flipping the cameras. Cameras at the Appleton Curling Club, the best $40 cameras you can get on the market is what I'm told. Love to get a little joystick where I can like do a little zoom, a little pan and tilt. But so far our budget is just not been at that level. I don't know. Maybe with all this money we're making right now off the Applespiel, we can juice up our tech a little bit. Nancy Davis is in the hack, ready to fire off the first of her stones. That yellow, that second count, it's got to go, but can you remove it while still sitting 2? It would take a great effort. This curls up a little bit, hits that front yellow. The shooter does stay. For the team with the hammer, you can't be all too disappointed with that. Depending on what Broom Goes the Dynamite does. They might have options on both sides to score there too. They're only one single missed shot away from having a chance at more than 2. So important shot coming up for both teams. Yellowstone is away. Makes contact in the house, jostles things around. Definitely a risk to that particular call. And now they've given Davis a chance to score a bunch, make this a much closer game. This conversation between Mark and Nancy, not so much about the call of the shot, but just how to execute it, where to put the broom. This will be the hammer, so no need to roll anywhere. There does seem to be a bit of an advantage to doubling off the yellow in the back, that yellow sitting fourth. Potentially a score of 4 here if Davis can get them both moving. That would be tremendous, though. They'll be happy with 3. Zone's away, and the sweepers immediately jump on it. It's like they're going to sweep end to end here. Can they hold it? They do. Nice shot by Nancy. Hitting that red means nothing. Red gets their 3.
And I'm good? Wonderful. Well, here we are in the 6th end. Exciting action taking place. Yellow looking to draw in to the 4-foot. Will they hit it? Based on the leg in the video, I bet they will. Very nice. Yeah. Yes, this is Tom Triolo on sheet 3 here, calling the game for Nancy, the never quitter Davis. And whose broom goes to dynamite? Which team is that? And the Crewalt rink at all. Coming in, little tap. Oh, just misses. Very exciting stuff. All right, let's get real here. What do we got? Now my teams went away. If I was more than 4 foot 7 feet tall, I could probably stand up and see, which rock is being thrown here. All right. Well, there we go. Now I can see that the Crewell team has yellow. Davis is red. Looks like Crewell is up by 1. 5-4 after 5. Trying to draw a second one in here, maybe back the 4 foot. No idea why they're doing that, but all right, down to the button. Nancy's going to call the freeze here. Funny story about Nancy Davis. Once saw her down 34 points in the 8th end. She still wanted to play it. Got to get that practice in. You can't shake every game when you're mathematically eliminated. Well, this one's coming in hot. Sweepers have backed off halfway down the sheet, and this one will sail through. That's a pretty common shot here for the Applespiel. All right, Amanda calls a guard up top here, setting the Broom on the 8 foot. Putting up the hand signal, love that. We're going to roll up the arm.
Everybody, as a broadcast to the world, though, we need more feelings.
All right, someone's coming in. Right on the tee, a little deep. It'll be about top 4. I don't think they're going to be too upset about this. All right, Nancy Davis praising the Lord and throwing the Broom down, looking for a double here. I don't think there's quite enough set up there for the triple, but it is a pretty big patch to earn during the Applespiel here. I plan on throwing 3 of my stones into the house just so I can triple my own out later tonight. All right, we're making contact. There it is. Oh, just missed the double. Crewell still sitting first and second count. Looks like this will be the second shot here for whoever this guy is. All right, are we back on? Had to take a quick call from my son. He's 16 years old, just got his driver's license, and can beat the crap out of me. So I'm really excited about that. That's something fun in life, being, the second toughest person in the house. Maybe the third. I have a cat. It's pretty vicious. All right, back to the game at action here. I find it interesting that this game is featuring Nancy Davis and Broom Goes the Dynamite when my commentary skills are about as good as the Boom Goes the Dynamite guy. Just something I picked up on here. Pretty awful at this. Maybe another 5 beers and we'll get it right. Oh God, that would be great. All right, we've got Bill throwing the Yellowstone here, first of his pair. I gotta assume they're trying to draw under the pile here. Maybe throw up a guard. It's definitely feeling guard way. We got a solid sweep here. I like the vibrate sweep. We put the broom down, we vibrate it. We're not really sweeping, but the girls love it. So cheers to you, buddy. Actually, pretty good guard. I like that. Still leaves Nancy plenty of room to draw in. Just needs to get her one to tie it up here in the sixth. It's pretty basic stuff. Curling is the easiest sport on the planet, in case you have never played it. Throw a big heavy stone down the ice. It goes exactly where you want it, pretty much 90, 95% of the time. Sweepers are meaningless. They're just there for show. Nancy throws the broom down. Her husband, Mark, will be throwing the second, it looks like, of his pair. And I expect this to land right on the button and sit shot. All right, here comes a delivery from Mark. Sweeper jumps on it pretty quick. Tracking a little tight. Might be a little. Well, they came off it. I got to assume she's crashing here. Thanks a lot, Mark. You made a liar out of me. I said you'd put it on the button and you crashed on the first freaking guard you could see. Awesome. Wonder, I won't say anything worse than that. But yeah. Just a reminder for all curlers out there that nobody should ever be curling for pecuniary profit. That's all I got to say about that. All right, Krewalt looking to take control of the front here with another guard, I guess. And this one should settle in right on the other guard. Guard, the old guard, the guard. All right. That's one of my best shots my first year of curling. Curled with Chris Borelli. He called 0 times during the year. He called guard on the guard, and I did it about 75 times. So probably set a record. All right. Nancy and Mark going to strategize a little bit, take a look. It's literally the same shot they just threw the last couple times, but it wouldn't be the Applespiel if they didn't spend 6 or 7 more minutes on this shot that should take 6 seconds. Yeah, don't do that. So what you're going to want to do is just curl under the big pile of stuff there so that they can't get to you. All right. Heated argument going on. And based on the broom placement, I assume Nancy is not sure what he's. I assume she's throwing the out turn and throwing it onto the other sheet, sheet 4. Bold move. We'll see how this plays out. All right. Quick cleaning of the lobster glove at the other side. Rock gets cleaned off. Taking a second look, taking a third look, taking a fourth look, and throwing a blazing hot takeout at the yellow guards here. Now it's dawning on me what she's going for. She's just trying to clear a little space. Well, she managed to hit one of those shots where I don't think I can say it right now, what I would typically call that shot, but you know, solid. She's probably sitting second count if I'm eyeballing it here, but this is tight. We might have a measurement. All right, Amanda is now discussing her strategy, thinking about running her yellows back. Nope, going to the other side, shaking that off. No, maybe looking at the, nope. All right, just gonna throw a curveball here, out turn. Just try and draw in. Well, this broadcast tonight is being brought to you by the Wooden Nickel. If you haven't been down to Tony's Bar, hey, College Avenue, somewhere around the 200 block, east, maybe west, I don't know. Pretty decent burger. Wings are fine. Chippers are fantastic. Brats, all right. They got Yinling on tap right now. That's pretty exciting for everybody. All right, back to the curling action here. Amanda's shot is definitely going to settle in, possibly for a Malort. And yeah, there we go. That's one Malort ordered for Amanda Krewalt. Congratulations. You know, I made a plug for the Wooden Nickel. It's funny, Nancy Davis is playing here, and I actually see she's got a sign literally right next to the Wooden Nickel. Nancy Davis and Rudy. I could only assume is her dog. Selling houses, buying houses, trading houses. If you get 4 houses and you call Nancy Davis, you can actually trade that in for a hotel. I think it costs like $100 and 4 houses. That gets you a hotel. Nancy Davis at coldwellhomes.com and Davis at coldwellhomes.com. So check that out, 920-450-0930. Nancy delivering her last shot. It's all right. Everything's on a delay. I don't have to be right on time here. Looks like she's maybe trying to get this yellow one out to secure her shot rock. So we do not, there's probably not going to be a measurement anymore this, I almost said this inning, this end. But Amanda's got another shot left. Pretty simple. Just going to draw in here or maybe a little hit and roll into the 4-foot. All right, here we go. Fantastic angle. There's the delivery. Can't see a thing from 9 sheets over here. The sweepers are doing their vibrations, and it looks like she is going to get a nice little, oh, what a gorgeous little tick and roll in. And that's that. Amanda gets 1. Krewalt take a 2-point lead after 6. We're heading into the 7th. I'm terrible at this, so I'm retiring, but I just got my patch.
Hey, curling fans, we're back with you watching the 7th end of this Applespiel 26 game between Team Davis and Broom Goes the Dynamite. Team Davis down 4-6 right now, but with the hammer. And right now the center line is open, which you would think would advantage the team with the hammer. Liz Stone comes to rest. Just at the tee line, maybe a little behind. Can be tempting to throw a freeze at these, which looks what Nancy has chosen to do. I mean, if you're a league curler, baiting someone into what's, objectively a tougher shot, not a bad idea, especially early in the end. If they make it, you've got time to recover. If they miss, you can kind of take the early advantage. This stone we definitely won't call a total miss. It's a little lighter, and it's not shot rock. Davis would have preferred that had a little bit more of the red and be corner frozen onto that yellow. But again, we're setting up an end right now. Davis has hammer, so putting a stone off the center line, it's going to be not a simple thing to remove. Is not a bad call, not a bad shot. Broom's going to continue to be aggressive here, throw more stones in play. Or throw a high guard. All right, the delayed high guard. Rare to see somebody in an Applespiel try and peel something high like that, so that's going to work out pretty well for Broom. Usually you try and get your first stone on the center line. Now that they're there, I would expect that one to stay for a little while and make it a little tougher for Davis to get her deuce. This attempt at a draw shot looks a little tight. They swept right out of hand and then were called off by their skip as it was over curling. Moves things around up front, gives a potential port that they could draw one through later in the end. If Davis's goal here is to move that yellow to expand the scoring area, they're going to have to come up with a really good shot to get that out of there. Just getting more and more crowded in front. This draw attempt just a little bit wider than the skip would have preferred. Weight's phenomenal. And it does curl up at the end, making a double probably not there. I'm going to say that the double on the yellows, had it not curled up at the end, would have been a lot more inviting. Right now, we're probably just looking for a hit on that yellow and a roll in to be shot stone. It's just getting more and more crowded at the Appleton Curling Club as people show up for night one of the Applespiel. That was a great shot for Team Davis. They're now sitting 1. The Vices throwing their stones right now. This will be the first Vices stone thrown by Ryan Welsh, who the previous commentator called Bill, not because that's his nickname, but because he didn't know that particular curler and he gave his best shot. If you're listening and in the Appleton area, the runner of this Bonspiel is looking for people to curl tomorrow. A little bit of curling experience, probably a plus. And if you're a member of the Facebook group, you'll already have his contact information. Come on down, throw a game. That roll inside by Davis was key. Broom goes dynamite, tried to chase it and just could not get curled up enough. Or actually curled up too much and crashed. I correct myself. And now that front has become a little more open. That path to that Yellowstone, which previously was inaccessible. Davis skipping the drawdown 2, the corner freeze, and going for the Applespiel shot. They've played a lot of Applespiels. They know that you got a chance for a bunch, then the red on red on red on yellow is really the only option. It's the only call. Sweepers are on it. And it's just curled a little too much. Bad news is the shot wasn't made. Good news is when you try something a little crazy, your opponent says, "Go ahead, try it again. We're not even gonna worry about blocking that. You can have that all day long." Last stone by Ryan. This is the takeout on the shot stone. Now that it's been cleaned up, they're hoping to get that red out of the rings. And just misses. That was about as close as you can get. Without, oh, thought that was a flash for a second there. It was actually not a flash. Got a piece. Mark Davis fights for Team Davis, has released his stone, his last attempt of the 7th end. For his last attempt, Sanity has won the day, and they're no longer trying for the double run back. Throws a nice stone here, gets to the inside, rolls a bit. Now it did knock that red a little back, but they're only one miss away from being able to hit that red on a little bit of an angle into the yellow, which would once again get them their multiple points they're looking for. So not a terrible shot. They just need to dodge this next stone from Skip Amanda Crewell. Does make this takeout attempt by Broom Goes with Dynamite a little bit more difficult as well, because they could, if they're a little wide, end up making Davis's shot for them, running that red onto the yellow. All right, sweepers are real close. Not willing to give up on this one. Just needs to curl past that center line. That stone over curls just a little bit. Rolls a little far, but does job number one, which is get rid of that red shot stone. Team Davis looking at all their options, including that Applespiel shot, that double run back of the Reds. Looks like Davis has made their choice. They're going to try the double run back on the Reds. They've already kind of seen how this shot runs. It is a nifty invention. And Nancy, on her most recent takes, has been very, very close to line. Reasons to think we might see something special here. Shots away. Sweeper's just walking alongside it. Doesn't look like they're interested in really putting Broom to it at all. Will it curl up enough? 1, 2. All the Reds move. And Davis does end up in shot stone position. Not bad at all. And Davis with the hammer. We'll have the last say in how the score is tabulated. No real question about what Broom Goes the Dynamite's going to do. They're going to hit this red, get it out of there. Try not to roll too far. That Yellowstone right on the center line, right in front of all the scoring area would be a perfect leave. Make it real tough for Davis to get multiple. In fact, really brings a steal into play. 2 more stones to go in this end, 1 by each team. First, it's Broom goes the dynamite. Throwing the hit. Sweepers are on it. Sweepers all the way, end to end, trying to keep it from over curling. They do take the Davis stone out. Over curl just a touch over the ideal, but sitting 2. Nicely done. The force is on. Davis can draw for 1 point, but no chance of getting 2. Looks like they're coming to the same conclusion. Good to look at all the options, but in this case, there just aren't any. This draw, not a crazy easy one, does have to hit half of their stone into the 4-foot. Few inches short of that, and they'll be looking at a steal of 2 by the team who's already ahead by 2. And down by 4 going into the last end. Not an easy situation to come back from. 2 games on the ice right now. As I mentioned a little while ago, there's really only one more game that was interesting. That was the Ladwig versus John Shoy. That is tied starting the 8th end. We don't have cameras on that sheet, but 6-6, so a relatively high scoring game. All right. Nancy just a little amped up on that last one. Goes through, gives Broom their deuce. We've begun the 8th end. Davis retains the hammer, but down 4, they're going to need to generate some offense and in a hurry. Games from the 8 o'clock draw already getting started on sheet 4. Making this the first Applespiel to be ahead of schedule at this point ever. Thanks for watching our stream if you're here. Whether you're planning on coming here tomorrow or are from far away. Shaping out to be a pretty good Applespiel if you're in the area and can make it down. Nancy knows she needs a bunch, so she's going to ignore that yellow. Get another guard on that side of the sheet, which I think is the right call. Sweepers working hard to get this over the line, and they do. What an effort. Probably wanted that to be a little bit further and curl up a little bit more. But it's a guard. Guards when you're down 4 are good. Looks like Broom goes the dynamite's going to come in again. They're content to just draw into the house. Make it as tough as possible for red to remove all of their stones. This one's got to go, though. Ooh, quite a bit light. And it's got some noise cancellation. You're probably all good. David's going to take the wide path. Get these. Oh, this is going to curl quite a bit. Plan B has been called, and it does make it through the port, but is it too fast to hold on to the rings? It seems that way. Yeah, that was just too tight. Nancy would prefer to hit that top yellow and roll behind one of those guard stones. Task for Broom goes the dynamite. Still a relatively easy one. They're going to try and come at the rings again. Sweepers again on it immediately. Yeah, sometimes in the eighth end of an end or of a match, the pass to the button get a little bit worn down. I'm not sure if that's what's happening here, but we've seen a couple of hogs in this end. Which, if you're going to do, good to be up for when you do it. So no real damage done. Davis Stone is away, and the sweepers are called on. Just looks quite a bit softer than Nancy was looking for. Either fatigue or a lack of pebble or something that's taken hold. They're laughing about it on the sheet, though. First of the Vice Stones is away. Looks like Ryan's made the adjustment. Has enough muscle on this one. Sweepers want nothing to do with it, but it'll stay. It'll stay. It'll tighten up. Sweepers celebrate not having hogged a stone. And red, with nothing in the house and down by 4, cannot afford to have any stones not make it to the rings. All 4 of these need to count. They got the guards up front, but they're outcounted in the rings 3-0 right now. Sweepers are on this one. Working hard to drag it. Getting every inch they can. It's been a long game. They tough it out, do a nice job. Get it to the top 8 foot. And they celebrate. That's stone by Davis. Behind cover enough that it's going to be ignored. Broom goes to dynamite, recognizing that not only does red need to get the stones in, but they need to get rid of yellows. So let's just put another yellow in there. Make this job as difficult as possible. A little bit of sweep, followed by a little bit of no sweep, because it's a beauty. It's good stone. Davis will want that double, but at the same time, the double's going to leave your red exposed, and that'll leave an easy hit back for the win. But at this point, you're going to have to make some good shots, and you're going to have to hope that your opponent makes nothing. So no real sense in worrying about what might happen. Just control what you can. The stone swept for a bit, and then they're off. Beautiful double by Mr. Davis. Earns himself a badge, I guess. You might hear a bit about badges. That's a new thing for the Applespiel and has something to do with the summer camp theme. We've already seen one curler in a Boy Scout shirt. I don't know if we'll see any Girl Scouts, but the costumes will be in full force starting tomorrow. Skip for Broom goes the dynamite, steps into the hack for her first. And her only if you can execute this takeout and either of those red stones in the house. That'll be enough for the win. Sweeper's paying close attention. It has curled quite a bit. And that's a bit of a miss. It's a little soft. This is the Applespiel. Let it rip, I say. If you got to swing the rock behind you to get the weight you need to send those rocks flying, go ahead and do that. Davis sitting 2, but needing 4 to continue the game. They've got 2 stones left to throw. trying to figure out where to put the next one to give them the best chance on the hammer. Tune into future games where I hope we can have 2 commentators on at once. I also hope it's not me, but I'd love to help others in beginning their broadcasting journey. Sweepers are on and off. Just making sure that this stone gets by the guard, which it does. Now it needs to hit the brakes. Now it needs to stop. Needs to stop. And it does. Great shot. If you've been watching this end, you'll remember that Red had nothing going just 3 shots ago. Nothing in the house. 3 straight great ones. Make this throw by Broom goes the dynamite skip. Amanda Crewell, very important. Got to make that red go away. That'll be good enough for the win. That red really can't even be bumped into the full 8 foot. It's got to go all the way to just a biting position or out of the rings, or you'll leave Davis with a shot for 4. And Crewell leaves no doubt. That is the end of the game. Davis doesn't have to throw her last because she's run out of stones. 8-4 the final. Thanks again for watching. We're going to end this stream so we can get it ready for the 8 o'clock. I don't know if there'll be commentation on the 8 or if it'll just be the steady cam. But we actually have 3 channels. The main channel is Appleton Curling Club, which you're watching. And then Appleton Curling Sheet 2 and Appleton Curling Sheet 3 are our other channels that'll show you both of the center sheets. Have a nice weekend, y'all, and we will talk to you later.